everyone, it's Vicky here from Crafty Heaven. Thank you very much for joining me today. And today's project is this Mother's Day card. I went to my stash the other day and realised I hadn't had any Mother's Day cards. So I had to think quick because obviously Mother's Day is approaching fast. And I think this turned out really cute. And it's using the Falling in Love designer series paper and the petite petal stamp set. Yeah, I think it turned out really nice. And I'm just going to try and open this one-handed because I'm doing this late at night when everybody's asleep. So that's the inside. So if you want to know how to make this, then stay tuned and let's get started. So to make this project, you're going to need a piece of Sahara sand cardstock that measures 6 inches by 12 inches, and you're going to score it along the 12-inch side at 6 inches. Then you're going to need a piece of very vanilla cardstock that measures 5 7/8 by 4 inches. And then I'm using the Falling in Love patterned paper, and you need to cut that piece at 5 7/8 by 3. Now you'll see here that the very vanilla will overlap that paper, and you'll see quite a lot of excess along the bottom. But we're going to actually cut a wave out of the top of that piece. So then I've got, you've got a trail where to add your flowers basically. So you're going to cut a wave line with your scissors. And when you've trimmed your very vanilla piece, you will overlap that piece of cardstock and attach it to the patterned paper. Now when you stick this, the very vanilla piece down to your paper, you want to make sure that, like I said, you overlap them so there's no gaps. And then that excess on the bottom that's hanging over your card base, you're going to trim that off, and then it will become a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 piece. So I made that very vanilla piece of cardstock longer on purpose, just so then when I cut that wave out, I don't cut off too much, and then I'm left with a really small piece that's not gonna, make a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 piece. So now add some glue to the top part of that cardstock, and again overlap those two pieces together. And then we're going to get a paper trimmer, and we're going to cut off that extra bit that we don't need. So one side is already 5 7/8, and then you're going to turn it and line it up at the 5 7/8 of an inch mark, and just trim off that excess. So now that whole piece is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and you can attach it to your card base. And that will leave a nice tiny border around the edge. So now you want to add some double-sided tape to the back of that layer. And what I like to do is, instead of peeling the whole of the backing of your double-sided tape, I just pull up a tiny bit and then fold it over and have it sticking out of the sides of your paper or cardstock. And the reason being is so then when you attach it to your card base, if you end up sticking it in the wrong place, then you can have that wiggle room, basically as if you're using liquid glue, to position it to whereabouts you want it. If you peel off the whole of that backing onto double-sided tape and you place it in the wrong place, then you're going to have trouble, peeling it off again and just ruin your card. So as you can see, those backings are sticking out slightly, and I'm just manoeuvring it to where I want it. And then when I'm happy, the bits that have the adhesive on the back, I would just stick those corners down, and then I peel the rest of the backing off and stick the rest of the card down. So sorry if I sound a bit out of sorts. It's World Book Day today at school, and I wish they never did it. Oh, I am so cross with my daughter. I had made a project, they had to make a potato character for World Book Day, a character out of their book, and she wanted to make a couple of sheeps, a mummy sheep and a daughter sheep from my mum and me, and the book was the twins, and she asked if she could take it to school to show her class, and instead she swapped it with someone in the school. We have no idea who it was, and I'm so cross. In fact, I'm really upset because obviously it's the twins book, so yes, so I'm very cross. But anyway, kids will be kids, I suppose. So back to the project. So I stamped out some petals from the Petite Petal stamp set, and I punched it out with a coordinating punch, and I used sweet sugar plum and Sahara sand ink, and I curled the petals to make them pop a bit, and I'm adding a bit of tombow glue to the back, and I'm just going to alternate the petals along that wavy line. I'm basically going to follow that wavy line, and I'm you can see I'm changing the colours each time, and I'm just going to carry on following that line. So here you can see that I've done that, and you also want to make sure that the first petal and the last petal, you don't want the petals to hang over the edge of your card. Okay, and then I'm adding some flat back pearls, and these are cream. These are not Stampin' Ups, but I haven't got any of their diamantes or anything like that yet, so I'm just using what I have. Yeah, so I'm just going to add that to the rest of the petals. And I've got an extra petal here to go inside of the card, and I add a pearl to that as well. So now we're going to add the sentiment, and I haven't got a Mother's Day sentiment, so I just typed this one up on my computer, and I punched it out with a scallop circle punch. That is not Stampin' Up, but Stampin' Up do carry other punches. And I'm going to distress the edges with sweet sugar plum ink, and I'm just using a makeup sponge, should I say, to distress the edges. And then I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of that to just pop that sentiment up. And originally I was just going to leave the sentiment at the bottom on its own, but then I thought it looked quite lonesome basically. There was just a lot of blank space. So I thought I'd add some more petals in the bottom right hand corner. So I'm adding another pearl to the sentiment, and I punched out 3 more petals, and again I just curled the petals just to make them pop. And again I'm going to do the same procedure, add the glue to the back, and add them to my card, and again add some pearls to the centre. And then to finish the card off, I cut another piece of very vanilla card that measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 to go on the inside of the card, and added another petal inside. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. Check out my blog for details of this video and head over to my online store. So take care guys, bye.